all, this is a training video for supervisors who need to mark time cards as reviewed. So I'm going to refer you back to the DSP training video for actually entering time. If you're entering your own time, you're going to follow the same steps as the DSP. And in that video, it's also going to show you how to edit, how to delete, and how to add time to a time card. So I'm going to refer you back to that video for that information. For marking time cards as reviewed, so DSPs will be marking time cards as submitted by 8 a.m. on payroll Monday. And then as a supervisor, the next step in the time card approval process is to mark the time cards as reviewed. So in this case, I am logged in as sample FLD. In order to get to the Manage Time Card page, you're going to click on the staff icon to the left. Now, I have already clicked on it, and I kind of narrowed my view, because what's going to happen when you click on this staff icon is it's going to pull up everybody that works for Bella McCree, and you're going to see kind of this basic information here, which is the same information that we were all able to pull in AltiPro. I just didn't want anybody's personal information to be part of this training video. So I have narrowed my view to just this test employee. But this is the information that you will see for everybody working at Bella McCree when you click on this staff button, okay? So you want to come up here to this blue button for Manage Time Cards. You're going to click on this. Again, until we get our pay periods entered in here, we are going to have to select a start and an end date. So we're going to do this past week. And what you can do is you could narrow your view to certain staff. So in this case, just because of the rights this person has rights to a lot of different people. You could select just to look at certain programs, okay? But for this video and moving forward until you are told otherwise, what we are asking you to do is to click this box for Show Me Direct Reports Only. And what direct reports means is that this person answers directly to you. You are their direct supervisor, okay? Those are the time cards that we're going to be pulling. Now, I know that there are times that we are going to have to see somebody's time card that does not report directly to us. We're not their direct supervisor, but they worked in our home. And that's something that will be able to happen. But right now we are working through something. So until that is possible, I'm asking you to check this box. Once that is possible, and that's coming very soon, I will send out an update video so that everybody knows how to do that, okay? But by clicking on Show Direct Reports Only, you will notice this narrows this sample FLD's view to just the test employee. Test employee is the only one that answers directly to the sample FLD, okay? So I'm gonna click on this, or I could have just left it with this. I don't have to have this. But if you have multiple people who report to you and you want to narrow it even further, you would have multiple names here, and you could just click one name at a time, okay? So here I'm going to say generate this report. And you're going to see all of the punches that we did in the previous video for the DSP. So again, as a supervisor, the next step in the approval process is to mark everything as reviewed. You'll see here under status, there's a whole bunch of different statuses because we've been kind of messing with this person's time card just to make sure everything's working correctly. What you will notice is that you have one that's open. So in this case, this is an example of, you know, if this was payroll Monday and you're in here checking this, this would be an example of an employee not correctly submitting their time card. Now, as the supervisor, you have the ability to submit this for them. And the reason that you have that ability is just to move things along in the process. But what I would strongly encourage is that if you notice that a staff person has not properly submitted their time card, that we are following up with them and we are educating them, because otherwise, if you keep correcting it for them, then they're going to continue leaving it open and they're not going to properly submit their time card. So please make sure that if you do have to submit a time card for an employee that you're following up with them just to make sure that it doesn't happen again and that they understand the steps that they need to follow. Okay. If you had a whole bunch of clock in and clock outs here, one of the things you could do to narrow your view is up here in status. Excuse me. So you could say, show me all the open ones. I want to see, what my trouble ones are. Show me all the open ones. And in this case, it'll bring me to just this one open one. And I'm going to look at it. It's a training. It looks like it's correct. So under actions, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to submit it for this employee in just this example. Okay. I can't move forward to review it if it's not submitted. It has to follow the 3-step process at this point. The employee has it open, they have to submit it, and now you have to review it. Okay. So now that one is submitted. So now I can come here and I can say, okay, show me all of the ones that are submitted. These are the ones that are ready for my review as a supervisor, okay? I found the open ones, I corrected it, that's now submitted. Now I can see everything that I need to see, okay? So at this point, for this particular employee, this is the time that they have submitted on Payroll Monday. Now I have the same ability as DSPs. I can come in here, I can edit this time card if I say that time's wrong or they clocked in under the wrong code. I can delete it altogether if it's not correct. I could change the house if I know that it was at another house. I also have the ability to view the history for this. So if I come up here and I say show history log, if this one had any changes, no history record found. Let me see if I had one where I made a change. No. Well, I thought I had messed with a whole bunch of them. It might have been a different employee. Oh, no, here we go. There we go. Sorry, found it. So in this case, it looks like the employee, the test employee made a change here. And then when I was playing around with this sample FLD, I made some other changes here. So it's going to show any of the changes that took place. And then what the ultimate time is. So even though it's not showing here, this is the final time card, if you will. But we still have the history of any changes that were made. So that's a useful tool if you want to see, how did we get here? What's going on? They said they corrected this. How did they correct this? That history log will show you all the changes that had taken place to this. Okay. So just like I said in the DSP training, what's coming is the ability to go ahead and just kind of batch check all of these. So you just check one button and then all of them will go to the next phase. But in this case, if you go through and you say these, I've reviewed these look good, then you're going to come in here and you're going to mark these as reviewed. Again, pretty easy, pretty quick, pretty simple. It's going to be a lot faster once we have that batch review. That way you don't have to go into each one of these at a time. You can just click a button and all of them will get marked as reviewed. Okay. What I do want to encourage you to do is to not wait until payroll Monday morning to go in and look at the time for your staff for the first time. I would strongly encourage you to look at this on a daily basis, and every other day basis, whatever it is that works out for you. Because if you can come in here and you can kind of catch some of these little mistakes, it's the wrong job code, or that time's wrong here, or they picked the wrong program, or anything like that. If you can catch it ahead of time and make sure that the employee fixes it, then it's a lot less work on the back end for you guys to come in here on Monday morning and try and figure this out. Monday morning should really just be reviewing what happened from that previous weekend, and then checking any last minute changes. It shouldn't cause you a whole bunch of time to come in here, and you really shouldn't have to be going in here line by line if you've been in here on a daily or every other day basis. So I want to make sure that we are at least doing that and making sure that employees, especially when we first roll this out, making sure that employees are using this correctly and are clocking in and clocking out correctly. Also, a strong recommendation is to make clocking in and clocking out part of your supervisories when you meet with your staff, and just have iCM pulled up when you meet with them and say, hey, these are some of the problems that I'm seeing, or if they do really good, make sure that we're praising them, make sure that they know that they are doing something good, and they are doing something right. Okay, so once this is marked as reviewed, your part is done. Okay. You do have the ability to go in here and edit this. This is not going to close you out until 10 a.m. on payroll Monday. So even if you have marked it as reviewed, if you want to go back after the fact and you still have time, you have the ability to do that. Okay. But once you marked it as reviewed, you're done. There's nothing else that you need to do as a supervisor on this level. Okay. I'm going to have another follow-up video to supervisors who need to approve timesheets. All right, so thank you very much.